Yeah, so I watched The Odyssey. What, you thought it was going to be a punchline or something? Want to add a little bit of context before this review starts? I'm not the biggest fan of Christopher Nolan. Whilst I do understand the importance that he's delivered to cinema and some of his greatest achievements, I don't hate him, but I don't go out of my way to watch his films. This is the first film of his I have watched in the cinemas, and my thoughts on The Odyssey was, it was very good, but I don't think I'll be watching it again, and I'll get into that in the review.
Hey, that's pretty good.
So, The Odyssey is Christopher Nolan's adaptation of the ancient Greek poem by Homer of the same name, and it entails of this guy called Odysseus who tries to get back home to his kingdom after invading Troy using the very famous Trojan horse technique. And I want to start this review off by highlighting probably my favourite thing about how this film is structured, and it's told in a very non-linear way with multiple viewpoints. You have Odysseus' son, played by Tom Holland, you have Odysseus himself, played by Matt Damon, and then you have an older version of Odysseus, also done by Matt Damon, and these are like sort of around the same time, two of those, and one of those is set in the past, these timelines. I personally really like how this film is structured this way, because it makes it so that if one plotlines begin to get a bit boring, they could just shift to another plotline and they can keep the story fresh. And what this film also likes to do is withhold some information for you, like they'll tell like a story partially and then like leave it unfinished, and then they'll reveal more of the story later on in the film, and then it adds a lot more needed context to the film, and it makes you really rethink everything that's happened. There's also this insane internet backlash over Lupita Nyong'o as well as Elliot for being in this film. Well, obviously because Lupita is black and Elliot is trans, and to that I say,
Who cares?
these criticisms are basically just nothing burgers, because like, how does them being black and one of them being trans, how does that impact the story in any way? They basically, what, like, how is this going to drastically change the story? I'm tired of this idea that stories have to be a one-to-one accuracy to the source material. I mean, like, the only film I can name that's close to that is Holes, and that's it. Anyways, back on topic, I would like to highlight the main plot of Odysseus' actual Odyssey, because it is so spectacularly beautiful. Like, they go to all these different islands, and each island is different from the other, and they all stand out in their own unique ways. Oh, and I've got to mention the soundtrack and the editing. The editing is so well, unbelievably done. Like, they would like cuts to different shots right as it implies something, as well as how the sounds would kick in right as they use their bow, and the soundtrack, consisting mainly of drums, really hammers in the intensity of this film. And now for some of the problems I had with this film and the reason why I'm not watching this masterpiece again. First off, I thought Zendaya as Athena was quite underwhelming. I mean, there's this cool thing about her that gets explained later in the film, but apart from that, she's just there and she doesn't really do much in the film. Like, why are you casting Zendaya for a role where she just says like 10 lines? I don't know. I also kind of wish that the film had slightly better lighting. Like, everything seems to be really dark in modern films nowadays. All I'm just asking is just the film be a bit lighter. Not everything has to be pitch black. And none of these compare to the two main reasons why I'm never watching this film again. One, the voice mixing and the audio is really bad sometimes. Like, out of all the scenes, I think I only understood what they were saying in like a quarter of the scenes, because like, the music would blend in and their sort of speech would go like, and I wouldn't really understand what they were saying most of the time. And that was a major turn off for me in the film. And the second reason, shit turns into a horror film randomly. Like, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I must remind you people that this film is going to be very grim if you watch it. Like, there's one scene that is really disgusting around the halfway point around the film, and it was like, it was making me questioning, was I watching The Odyssey or was I watching The Substance? In conclusion, I think The Odyssey is an unsurprisingly amazing film from Christopher Nolan, with amazing characters, themes, soundtrack, and editing. However, I feel like it's let down for me personally due to some of the elements within the film. So I'm going to give this film an enchanté.
Enchanté.
Unless your name is Roby33. So yeah, that concludes it for this review of The Odyssey. What do you think? Do you think I am intelligent? Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think this review was stinky? I don't know. Let's just finish this video.